I have a lot to say about Andor.
I liked Andor.
Speaking of Star Wars and good and bad, I'm curious because Don and I have been talking about this. We're the only ones I feel on the internet not necessarily defending the show, but not hating it. So, Randy, have you been watching The Acolyte? What do you think so far?
Yeah, I mean, so far, I only have one complaint, and it's whoever is doing the episodes learn how to cut episodes from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I really hate it. I really hate how they're doing that.
Huh.
Because it's just like, I'm going to feel better when this whole show is just one big chunk and I can just sit and watch the whole big chunk without it just kind of like stopping in the and you know what? It would be a really good point to come up to, and then credits. I'm like, really? We're just doing that every week, huh? We're just like, oh, let me pull out this big red lights. Cut, credits, Kathleen Kennedy. I was like, you know what? This is just going to piss people off that you just keep cutting the episode, not on like a cliffhanger, but on a transition to the next point. And I get what you're doing. It's kind of like, oh, you got to watch it next week to find out what's happening.
Suspenseful.
Next.
Yeah, building suspense.
But they did it wrong. They didn't build to a point where like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. It's, oh, I know what's going to happen next. And then it's like, cut it off. And it's like literally, it's like when you watch a sex scene and someone takes their bra off and you see the bra hit the floor and then they cut to the next morning. Well, we know what happens. But if they had just ended the movie with the bra hitting the floor and you were like, what happens next? I was like, no, see you in like next year or see you next week. And it's like, why? I already know what happens. There's going to be a thing that happens. And it's like, oh, here's the thing that happens. I was like, well, now I'm bored with it already.
But I think the way that they shoot it through OSHA's perspective does kind of, do that. Yeah. Although, congratulations for having legitimate criticism that isn't complete and utter bullshit. Like, hey, Kiara wrote the Jedi Bible, which is fucking stupid because everything he's ever said is wrong. Yeah. And other people look at him like he's stupid. So, I mean, it's a way better hill to die on than, Kiara Mundi's age. Anakin should be the only immaculate conception. And yeah, the lore is broken, the franchise dead.
Because I came up with ideas like, okay, because we're all just basing this idea of one line from the first couple of movies, like, oh, the Sith have been gone for millennia. And it's like, that's only what you think. That's the only line we've heard. And it's like, maybe it's just if we know, if we had all said right now collectively, there are no such thing as aliens, that doesn't exclude the fact that they exist. They might still exist out there because they exist.
Especially if I work for an agency or a part of the Jedi that's actively covering shit up.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so what if I'm just lying?
Because I'm an asshat Kiara Mundi, right? Yeah. And I'm and
it's like, we've never had this thing ever happen ever, and it's like, the real truth of it is we had it happen last time, and then she turned into a fucking psychopath. So it's like, well, we're not going to talk about that part. And it's like, yeah, well, okay, well, maybe this time this will bring balance to the Force. Yeah, sure. Keep an eye on the kid, though. Just be sure. Keep an eye on the kid. And it's like, we're basing this on the Jedi being infallible, but like,
which they're not.
The thing I heard most and that really got to me a lot was, this show really demonstrates how much the Jedi are cops, and all cops are bastards, and they lie all the time. And it's like, even in the show, you see them. What are you doing here? Put your hands up. What are you got a weapon on you? Like, no, I'm just trying to make my way through here. What are you guys? I'm innocent. I'm innocent. I wasn't even near that Jedi. Like, well, we're taking you back to Coruscant anyway.
Yeah, like, no, they're the whatever the ATF or down in Waco, Texas, back in the 90s. I think that's what we're gonna find out here in these last two episodes. I don't know. Have we delved into that? I'm sorry. Did we already get to the Acolyte? Anyway. Yeah. So
all Jedis are bastards.
Yeah, I think that is the other point of contention. is that yes, this is making Jedi not the good guys, and I'm not comfortable with that.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time. That's what's going on.
Green Lady is definitely the worst cop. Yeah, she for sure is like, she's internal affairs and she knows there's something wrong.
Big time.
I love that.
Or even worse, is corrupt.
Oh, yeah.
The worst criticism that I've seen, and I shared it on our Twitter or X or whatever, was this guy took two of the scenes where they cut to Coruscant and it says Coruscant on the title card, and his complaint was, this is the second time you've shown Coruscant in the show, and Star Wars fans know that this is Coruscant. We don't need this, it's bullshit. I'm like, who cares if they put the name of the show, of the planet up? Like, they've done that in other Star Wars things.
As well as they should, because super uber Star Wars nerds are like, hey, there's like 10 planets that I know of that are city planets.
Exactly.
So is this Coruscant? Is this Debrilian? Is this Onderon? Is this Corellia? Which one?
Excuse the fuck out of the show for trying to be clear about where they are.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
It's like, you guys are just finding things to nitpick about, and it's like, it's really clear that you guys are reaching. Thank you, Ray. I love you.
It's not a couch though. It's just a big fucking
one chair though. Just one chair, just for me.
Is there enough room for you and a lady on that chair?
It might be. There's plenty right here in my lap. But yeah, all Jedi are bastards. Back to my point. That I have a theory for sure, because like they had talked about her family being killed in the fire, and they walked by these bodies, and I'm just like, well, they don't look very burnt.
Yeah.
And I was like, so what happened here? It was clearly a Waco situation that just happened here, and the Jedi are just covering it up. And I'm like, this whole show really is about how terrible the Jedi are, and we're gonna have to get to the end of this before they're like, oh yeah, maybe not all the Jedis are good.
That was
because I thought Sol was going to be a good guy, but he's looking sus here too. Like, like you said, Waco going in there like, oh, they got guns and they're fucking kids, and they go in there like, oh wait, they're not doing fuck any of that. Damn, and they're all dead.
This is a small community who's just practicing their religion on their own without you guys. They're really not trying to invade Coruscant or destroy Coruscant, but you've just come in here with your guns and your lightsabers, and now it's like, well, now you guys are a problem. And I'm just like,
big dick energy.
Yeah, because we are the guardians of peace in the galaxy. And I'm just like, doesn't sound very peaceful, guys.
Well, police officers are peace officers too. So
yeah, see how well that works out.
Hence why Last Jedi gets all the anger, because it's the same shit. Because it's just But anyway,
it's trying to paint Jedi in not a completely like infallible light. It's like sometimes Jedi fuck up, and it's like, oh, that would be an interesting story to walk down, see what happens.
And they're not the only way to the Force. Like they're not the only way. The Catholic Church is not the only way. Any church is not the only way to this or that.
And now I'm hearing
like, or the Lutherans or whatever.
The Mormons of the galaxy.
And it's like, now I'm hearing different like aspects of different sides of like, well, George Lucas says that this and that, how that. And I'm like, I don't care what he thinks. I'm just like, I feel like as you presented the Force to all of us, the Force is a living thing that embodies everything, which means we can all interpret it as we want. So it's like everything has the Force in it, and some of us are sensitive to it, is what you've told us. So with that knowledge, we could interpret how we deal with the Force. Like some people just are lucky. Like we in the Legends one, Han was Force sensitive just because he seemed to always find ways out of solutions like that.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Dameron too.
Oh, Poe Dameron too.
On Thrawn's comment, who knew the Acolyte would be a referendum on the ATF? But that was the thing. I was the guy at the beginning of the show, like, oh, this is going to ends up being at least those 4 Jedi that went to the planet did something horrible and blah, blah. And then as the show went on, I'm like, wait, it doesn't feel like they're going that direction. But then in this last episode, Soul keeps going, I'll tell you what really happened to your family. Like he's like, I got this big secret that I'm keeping, and it's just like, oh, okay, so there is something.
The Green Lady's coming to shut him up because he might tell her the secret. Like,
yeah, that's exactly how that whole episode feels.
Yep.
Well, and not only that, and the show's not going to get credit. I haven't seen anyone give the show credit for this yet. So, here I go. But like, look at the two different views that we're getting. We're getting, Smilo Ren trying to he's trying to recruit Osha, who was like Ultra Jedi-ish, right?
Right.
And I know people complaining about the chest, and that was a dumb. That was kind of that could have been better writing. I thought that was kind of a dumb scene, but anyway.
What?
Either way, it's still showing you he's not like trying to coerce her. He's just like presenting her. Here you go. Do you want it? Do you want it? While Soul on the Jedi side like has May in handcuffs.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna tell. This is what we're gonna do. So we're kind of seeing a juxtaposed light and dark side approach by Jedi and Sith. Again, more of a light side approach from the Sith, and kind of a darker side with Soul because of this event. So again, writing's not the greatest, but the overall premise and the acting I think is good. And I like the premise so far a lot. But I think that this episode, and again, it's not going to get credit for it, is doing a great job of kind of showing the opposites from the Jedi and Sith characters and showing kind of the corruption of one and how the other one may just have a point a little bit. I mean, as soon as he starts killing shit and stuff, okay, Sith are bad. But right now he's only killed
my property.
Well, and he said in the last episode, like, I got to kill y'all, but that's not my rule. That's your rule that says I can't be here. So either kill you or kill me.
Ray says, as the stories expand in Star Wars, they really make the Jedi out to be the real villains that needed to go. So now when I see Order 66 scene in Sith, I nod and understand why, and I lose sympathy.
And I think that may be a large part of what people have a problem with, though, is because they look at that and say, "Oh, now that's changed." And it's like, no, it's.
Well, I mean, it's like.
But I kind of feel like it's a situation where any large group, you're going to have fundamentalists in it. You're going to have bad people in it. Good people.
Bureaucracy, politics.
You can't sit there and say Luke was a bad person, right? Like he did the good. He's the one that came and.
Yeah,
it would make more sense for them to have he made a mistake. He had a moment of weakness, and it's like he wasn't the legend, the Jedi, the master. He failed. He made a mistake, and it's like that's enough for this failure tumbled into Kylo Ren as they both made a mistake, as they both misunderstood what was happening in that moment, and it's like he was trying to destroy me, and he's like, technically, I was, because I made a mistake. I thought I saw something that wasn't there. It was a reflection of the fear I was feeling. And it's like that story makes sense as you write it, but like when you see it visually, it's like, well, I didn't get it. I think they didn't get that when they presented it to us, and I was like, oh, it looks like he just fucked up, and now that's not the Jedi I know. And I was like, oh yeah, because your expectation wasn't met.
But like the point I was getting at is in the original trilogy, we have Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Luke. They're the only Jedi we ever meet. Mm-hmm. Then 20 years later, whatever it is, they make the prequels, and we get the Jedi Order at the end of their life. And let's be honest, like a lot of them are jerks in the movie. Yeah.
They took children soldiers into war. And it's just like, this is okay. Like, he's only 17 right now. This is
not
cool.
Only that, they talk about the dark side and fear, but yet they don't want to train Anakin because they sense fear in him, and they're afraid of what he might become. Well, then you're acting out of fear. Right. You're going against your own rules. But yeah,
that's because they're all imperfect beings. But yeah, even Yoda was saying, this Jedi generation are too bold, too full of themselves. And that's what you get when you're feeling it.
filled with
that
pride
power.
right before their fall.
Yeah. But this episode was, I mean, other than Soul saying, I'm going to tell you what happened, not much. I don't think much happens in this episode. Like,
No.
I mean, I was okay.
It really
is
is
with the little
kinda,
water thing that went down there, and I was like, yeah, it's like I'm not afraid of you. It's like what?
Yeah, no, but that was really it. They didn't go farther into the story, but they really did a good job of again showing you kind of this again the evil guy having the more reasonable approach, and Soul the good guy being unhinged and like like he's totally in his head, like it's showing you the cracks, which is
Plus, she's there holding his lightsaber, and he's there like his lightsaber's hanging by his knee. So it's like these two, and she's the one with the most terror on her face. It's like you have all the power in this situation, and yet you're trembling because you don't know what to do. And like I have the clearest mind ever. It's like I want you on my side because I'm looking to control, to create the power of two, to build something from this. And it's like,
right. Yeah, they haven't said who his master is yet, though.
Maybe he doesn't have one. Maybe I feel
you
like
want
it
to
was
speculate
Soul.
on it.
Was it not Soul?
Yeah. I don't know. That they haven't explained why Soul doesn't remember the Cumir guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of culprits because I still think it could be one of the night. I know they're not Night Sisters. The cult.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mother Coral, which is the one that actually gave birth to them. But then Venestra, which by the way, like they kind of, I know everyone was like, ooh, the light whip, like, and that's cool too. I like all the strange lightsaber shit. But to have her just busted out for one of those bugs and that's it, like, I don't know, that was kind of lame. Anywho,
hopefully she'll have a whole fight. We're waiting for that.
You would think so, but she could be. She could be the master, the actual Sith that's pulling all the strings. Like, because as much as I'm like, oh, the water scene, like that was, I do also understand it did have a purpose because they wanted us to see the scars on his back and stuff. That way we can kind of speculate, and that's why people are speculating that it is Vernestra with the light whip, and so it's got like whip scars. We'll see. I think. My biggest complaint though is it's only a half hour. I think the suspense cuts, I think they do a good job of building suspense, but it is annoying. It actually kind of makes you a little bit angry after every episode, and I don't think you want to do that, when you're wanting to, people to follow your show.
Well, and that's the problem too, right? Like the show's already done and cut, and they're showing it. But like that is, I think, a reason that people are upset. I do feel like the pacing is really bothering people, and they can't do anything about it now. You just got to write it out. But hopefully, they learn from it. And stuff actually
go
happens
back to
in
cutting
every
like
episode.
TV. You can have an overarching story, but just have it beginning, middle, and end in your episode, and then by the way, at the end of this episode, we're going to learn about, and then go see you next week. And it's like, we could build, like, I hate to bring it up. Flash did it for 9 seasons, even though the premise was he needs to go faster. I feel like these guys could learn better, could do better, but it's fine, whatever.
Well, I mean, that's the thing too, right? Like, if you can
I'm not making them, so I guess I can't have no place to talk about it.
You can have something happen at the beginning of the episode which resolves something that was a cliffhanger at the end of the previous episode, but have something in the middle that actually happens, that is actually interesting. Like watching May run around the ship and try to figure out why the power's out, or Osha and Quimir having a conversation about who's really the bad guy in this situation. It's just like, like I don't need a whole
episode. That big squirrel or whatever the fuck it is, like trying to like kick her and get in a fight with her was also kind of took me out. It was annoying.
And then
no, it's not. It's not funny.
When she's like the green Jedi, when she's like, we need to send a team to to the planet real quick, and then she's coming out to get on the ship, and the young Jedi's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" She's like, "I'm joining you," and he's like, "Are you sure?" Like, I feel like they were trying to make a bigger deal about that, but I just didn't care. Like, whatever, she wants to go. Why are you making a big deal about this?
And when they do that, the other thing I found a little bit too much was, like, as Sol and May left, Vanestra and the crew came in, like, one right after the other. And with it taking 1 to 6 days to get from basically one system to another, like, there's no way that could have happened like that, like, statistically. So I don't know why they could have cut that out there. That was unnecessary.
Ray says, "This is Disney, Dave. We don't do that here." So I have to give it to him.
What are you doing? We don't do that here.
It's been a while since T'Challa came out.
Oh no. All right.
And all sorts of crazy shit. And you haven't been playing him. So.
I know. We got pretty political, I think, last week too, related to the Acolyte.
I wasn't here for that.
So this was episode 5, right? Or was it?
I thought this was 6.
It was 6.
Yeah.
6. So 2
each
more to
corrupt go. Or corrupt each, I can't remember, but it's another 2 named episode. But yeah.
So we have 2 episodes left to go to resolve this whole thing and figure out what's going on. And at the moment, I'm not sure I'm going to be happy with how they resolve this. Because they're not even a hint. Like, that's the thing that's bugging me too. They're not even giving us hints at like what could have possibly happened that night, other than the one flashback episode. But we still don't know who set the fire, how everyone died. Like, there aren't enough hints in the show to say, like, to give you breadcrumbs so that you can be like, oh, I knew it, or oh, wow.
The problem I'm having though is, like, I'm gonna be that guy who's like, oh, because I had the same problem with Us when I was watching Us, the Jordan Peele movie, and I was like, because they had a thing and they had the trailer I saw, and I was like, wait, I remember this episode of The Simpsons, and it's like, no, Bart's the evil one. We just thought that this person who we disguised as evil the entire time was the evil one. But in fact, that one was the kind, gentle one. And Bart's the one who's been trying to murder us all in the first place. And I was watching Us, and I had that same thought in my head. I was like, did the Simpsons do this? And yeah. And then so I'm watching the Acolyte, and I'm like, it's not the Simpsons, is it again? And I was like, they're on different sides of the door. Don't do this, May. And May's in there, and then there's a fire that breaks out, but we don't see who starts it. And I'm just like, so it was you, the one who went to Jedi school, who wanted to get away, set this fire and killed everyone, didn't you? And you've been holding on to this secret this entire time, and you just didn't tell anybody. And it's like, yeah, that's what it is. Simpsons did
that where the good twin.
We'll see.
And then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna switch them now," and they're like, "Oh yeah," to show us that.
Well, I think they've already. I think they've. I don't know. I'm getting more hate vibes from OSHA, actually.
Yeah.
So they've already kind of sold to me that she is the one that's perhaps a little bit fucked up. But I still think that there's more to it. I think that there is still an unseen Sith that manipulated the situation. And that makes the most sense to me. I mean, I'm still open to whatever they do, but to me, that's what it's going to come. Somehow, Palpatine returned. No,
somehow,
somehow these Jedi went crazy and killed the witches. I think they're still going to make it interesting, though. I don't know. They still have to stick the landing, though, and we only have 2 episodes to go. So I can definitely understand, like, saying, there's a lot to learn here and not a lot of time. We've only got an hour left in the whole entire show to understand, like, why the fuck did, like, Waco, Texas 2.0 go down?
No.
And what the hell's going on with Soul? Because he was seeming like super reasonable and caring, and now he's got people chained to a table talking about, oh, I'm going to explain to you how your family died.
You're going to listen. You're going to listen to me.
Oh, and I'm going to report that we're all annihilated, but now I'm going to run away from the Jedi.
Yep.
So what the fuck's going on there? So I'm intrigued, but they could really fuck it up. But I'm still enjoying it. I like this episode. It's not my favorite Star Wars series, but it's still good.
That's
so.
The Green Lady is the Sith. She's been there the entire time, clouding the minds of all the Jedi Masters to make them believe that the Sith have been extinct for 1,000 years.
Makes sense, because she's doing all sorts of fuck shit in this clandestine Jedi operation where she's like, don't tell the Jedi Council because they'll tell the Senate. Like, oh, that's a good thing when you say, hey, the government shouldn't know about this. That always turns out, to be a great situation.
I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of things I don't want the government to know about at my house, but it's fine.
Yeah. All right. Let's do a little social media madness.
Yay!
All right. So I just got two things. I'm going to do this one first since we're still talking about the Acolyte. So last week, I kind of said I felt it was obvious that the Jedi were going to lose that fight, right? Because they never trained against another lightsaber user like that who used the Force like that, and whatnot. And then so we got some comments over on TikTok about that. The quote Mastro said, "If you've not trained for combat, you're not going to do well in combat." This is true. Two Tact said, more angry the Jedi didn't use more force powers themselves. All the trees and rocks in the ground around them, most likely. Yeah, throw the rocks at them. You know what, though? They've never depicted the Jedi doing that. Not so much in fights, right? It's always the Sith who throw things at you while they're fighting, but the Jedi kind of just use the swords to block that stuff.
That is true.
Yeah, it's in the MMO when you're more focused on the Force. There's powers and shit. Yeah, you're just like throwing rocks and boulders, but yeah, never in like a movie or.
Yeah, and everyone after like.
Well, outside of Obi-Wan, we can't forget that. By the way, just people don't make.
But he was filled with emotion, and then by the throw a whole mountain at his brother.
Still, he beat Vader. He beat Vader with rocks. So
beat him to death.
We should see Jedi. If Jedi threw more rocks, they might not have got obliterated.
Christopher B880 said, "This is specifically why I don't find Quimer, I don't know how you say it, taking 8 Jedi as amazing. People glazing him, despite the fact that he literally took on unprepared Jedi." See, some people agree with us. Mr. Flores said, "Isn't it easy to kill Jedi? The white robot with 4 arms, Grievous, I think, did it in the 2003 cartoon, right? I only have seen that show plus the movies." Yeah, General Grievous killed quite a few Jedi.
Yes, General Grievous murdered Jedi up and down. That's where the lightsabers came from the Jedi he murdered.
Under Construction said, "It honestly seems like the concept of the Sith is new to the Jedi in the series." And Spicy Thighs said, "Bad show." Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Spicy Thighs. Thank you for the comment.
And then Channel of Mojos said, "He didn't train his whole life to kill Jedi." He didn't?
Seems like he did.
Know. Seems like he did. Seems like he was prepared to take on those Jedi.
He's wearing a helmet of Cortosis weave and
yes.
he can't even see out of the fucking thing. He uses the Force to fucking fight. He's pretty prepared.
That really threw me when he said, "Oh no, it blocks up my senses." So it's so you killed all these guys blind, just didn't see anyone, just whatever, fuck them.
He saw him, just not with his eyes.
Yeah, he used his Daredevil powers.
Here's the funny thing. So Ray is saying, if the show was on cable, it would have been cut mid-season. It probably wouldn't be getting ratings So I don't disagree with that. The days of pilots and test audiences are long gone. That is probably true too. And then, can we just get a Star Killer movie to please all the Marvel fans that want mutants in their Star Wars? But here's the thing, like,
yes, and yes.
And we've talked about this on the show a lot. Streaming, like, it doesn't matter. Like, as long as they're not losing subscribers, does it really matter who watches the show? Like, I mean, granted, they're going to go, okay, if 1,000 people watched it or 10 million people watched it, like, they're going to want to do more shows like the 10 million people watch, because that's going to get them more subscribers. But at the end of the day, they're not making money based on how many people watch the show. So they could just make it and put it on there as long as they don't lose subscribers over it.
I mean, it's fair.
Yeah.
Their biggest goal should be what sells more shirts or whatever. You know, what's the next Grogu? What's the next BB-8?
Yep.
You know, it looks like they may. I don't think Pip's quite going to catch on.
I do want one of those cool ass helmets though.
Speaking of shirts, like,
yes,
people that are watching should click on the link in the description and check out our merch store. Pick up a Superhero Speak t-shirt today.
Yeah, merch.
That is fucking masterful, Dave.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Superhero Speak podcast. And don't forget to watch us live every Sunday night right here on this channel.
While you're here, hit the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications so you won't miss out on any of our great upcoming content.
Speaking of content, don't forget to check out our website, superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast, links to our social media, merch, comic reviews, and so much more. That's superheroespeak.com.
Thanks for watching, and don't let your cape be caught in the door. See you next time.